Got it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's not a problem.
Let me get that in case it's related to it.
All right, we're gonna,
No.
all right, we're gonna start the CRC meeting. Okay, and first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna need to vote on the slate of officers for this year. And if everybody saw it, well, it's the same as we had before. We have Nina Finger-Smith, secretary, Robert Galuccio as treasurer, Sarah Sterling as vice chairman, and Carmine Pirro as chairman. So what I'm going to need is a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have the annual housekeeping resolution. And we're going, if there's no changes, I'm going to need, this is going to be a roll call vote. Also, I need a motion in a second. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Aye.
We're going to do a roll call vote, Nina.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask for your vote right now in favor of the annual housekeeping resolution. Nina Finger,
Yes.
Bob Galuccio,
Yes.
Bill Gerlach,
Yes.
Brian Keeler, Carmen Kira,
Yes.
Rick Rector,
I should abstain because I'm not that familiar, but I trust all of you, so yes.
Sarah Sterling.
Yes.
It passed.
Okay. Next, we have the draft minutes. 12/7/21. There's no changes. I'm going to need a motion in a second.
I'll make that motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. What we're going to do now is we're going to pause the meeting until after the committee meetings. We get them done. So I just need a motion and a second to pause the meeting.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So passed. Okay. Now we're going to open the audit committee meeting, call to order. And the first thing we have are the minutes. Oh, you want to do this all together, Lisa? Lisa at the end? No, these, no, okay.
No.
So, yep. As far as the audit committee, we have the minutes, 12/7/21.
A motion.
The second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Next, we have the audit committee charter. Is there any changes that anybody knows of? No?
No, it's good.
Two? I'm sorry.
Move it. Motion to approve.
We got to, well, we could do them all first.
Okay.
And next, we have the 2021 Statement of Internal Controls. If there's any questions, just bring them up as we're going through. 2021 Discharge Duties. Any questions? Any public comments? If not, we're going to need a vote. I'm going to need a motion in a second.
Motion.
Make a motion.
All those in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. I'm going to need a motion in a second to adjourn the audit committee meeting.
So motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. Okay, moving on. We have the Open Finance Committee meeting called to order. We have the minutes from October 5th, 2021. There's no changes. I'm gonna need a motion in a second. So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Okay, next, we'll go through, if there's any questions on the treasurer's report. We have the finance committee charter. Any questions or changes? 2021 discharge duties, questions or changes? No questions, any public comment? If not, we need a motion and a second to approve the above.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. We need a motion and a second to adjourn the finance committee meeting. I'm sorry,
Public comments
I did, I said that.
first. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Absolutely. Okay, I need a motion and a second, I'm sorry, Pat. To approve the above.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved. I need a motion and a second to adjourn the open finance committee meeting.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. Next, we have the open governance committee meeting. Call to order. And first on the agenda is the minutes from February 2nd, 2021. There's no changes. I'm gonna need a motion in a second. So move.
Second.
Motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Is there any changes? Governance committee charter changes. Next, we have the anti-nepotism policy.
That's new.
It's right.
That's new. It's a basic policy, just outlining. CEDC had already approved it, so.
Right. That's right. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, because I was at the meeting the other day. There we go. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that? If not, I need a motion and a second to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So moved. 2022 compliance calendar. Any questions or changes? 2021 discharge of duties. Questions or changes?
No.
Any public comments? If not, I need a motion and a second to approve these last couple items.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I need a motion and a second to adjourn the open governance committee.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So.
There's a new company that wants to bring a rock concert here, which I'll explain later.
All right, now,
That was quick thinking, Bill.
I'm gonna need a motion and a second to reopen CRC full board. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, now, following along, we have on the consent agenda, you have your annual report, 2021 operations and accomplishments, 2021 performance measure report, 2022 mission and measurement goals. You also have your audit committee report, you just went over, you have your finance committee report, and your governance committee report. And is there any questions? If there is none, I'm gonna need we're gonna do these all in one. It's gonna be I need a motion and a second to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. Okay, moving along, we got the administrative director's report.
As you know, CRC is the Columbia Resource, or the Capital Resource Corporation. It was created when IDAs were no longer allowed by statute to help assist not-for-profit organizations. And this entity has the ability to do that. The last time it did that was 8 or 10 years ago when it assisted the hospital with an expansion project. Those bonds were paid off about a year ago. And so right now, there's been no activity in that interim period. As you can see from the financial report, we have $451 in the bank. Over the last 3 to 5 years, the funding to pay the $2,600 for the audit, the $1,800 for insurance, and $154 in miscellaneous have been covered by grants from CEDC to the tune of $7,500 every 2 years. We are now at, and as a result, this year, we put 2021 with CEDC put 2,500 in. This year, we're gonna have to put 5,000 in, because right now, the balance is $451, and our total expenses are $4,550. So, we need to put, CEDC will put the $5,000 in this year, and we budgeted for it. Obviously, we'll have to put money in for insurance, and we'll have to put money in for the audit, which will be done by March 31st in order to file with the authority budget office. There are a couple of not-for-profit large projects coming down the pike. Andy and I have a meeting planned with Joe Scott at Hudson Russ to determine whether CEDC can add benefit to those projects. And if we can, the plan would be to go and market to them the opportunity to show them how we could help. One is the community forum project behind us. It's a theater project that Galvin has. And also, I think that after the meeting with Joe, we do have the list of the not-for-profits in the county that have, from millions of dollars of assets down to zero. And I think if we picked the top 25 and at least made them aware of the fact that this entity is here. We've hesitated in the past, as you'll remember, about dissolving this, because you'll never get one back. And I guess at some point, it's kind of like life insurance. You pay $5,000 a year for 10 years, you put in 50 grand, and you haven't gotten any fee back. But I guess the theory has been that if one of the large not-for-profits in the community came to us to assist them, we would get a fee equal to what we have invested over time plus, and they would get the benefits of being able to issue tax-exempt bonds for us. Andy, any additional comments on the legal?
I think the biggest thing is Joe Scott will talk about the parameters, and then maybe you take one more year to market it.
Yeah.
See what you.
There had been a proposal at the hospital that they were looking to do here, but as you know, they're doing a $50 or $60 million facility in Greene County at this point. But with the Albany Med affiliation, I have to believe there's going to be a long-term construction plan, at the hospital. So that's basically on CRC, my director's report. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.
No questions? Any public comments? If not, I mean, the motion is second to adjourn CRC.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Moving right along. The next packet is the IDA open full board meeting, called to order. And first thing on the agenda is a slate of directors. And it's the same slate that we just had for CRC. Any changes? Okay, if not, need a motion and a second to approve the slate of directors. So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carry. Next, we're gonna have to say, we're gonna do the annual housekeeping resolution. And it will be by roll call vote. Is there any questions on it or changes? If not, we'll do a roll call vote. Lisa?
Nina Finger,
Yes.
Kathy Kura,
Yes.
Robert Lucio,
Yes.
Greg Rector,
Yes.
William Burlap,
Yes.
Sarah Sterling,
Yes.
Brian Keeler is absent. It carries.
Motion carried. Next, we have the draft minutes from 12/7/21. There's no changes. Need a motion and a second to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All those in
Second.
favor? Aye. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. And now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna need a motion, a second, we're gonna pause the open full board meeting to go through the committee meetings. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, next we have the open audit committee. We have the minutes from December 7th, 2021. There's no changes, need a motion and a second to approve.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And I'm gonna read these next few items, and we'll vote as a group on them. It's the audit committee charter. Any changes? 2021 statement of internal control. 2021 discharge duties. Any questions or public comment? If not, I need a motion in a second. So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. I'm gonna need a motion in a second to adjourn the open audit committee.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Aye.
Next, we have the open finance committee meeting. And we have, first thing is the minutes from October 5th, 2021. No changes. I need a motion and a second to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And the next, I'll read these on. We have the treasurer's report. If there's any questions, the finance committee charter, any changes, 2021 discharge of duties. Any questions or public comments? Not, we need a motion and a second. So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Second. Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I'm gonna need a motion and a second to adjourn the open finance committee meeting.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So approved. Oh, moving right on, we got the open governance committee meeting. We have minutes from February 2nd, 2021. If there's no changes, I need a motion and a second to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Next, we have the governance committee charter, the anti-nepotism policy, the 2022 compliance calendar, 2021 discharge of duties. Any questions or public comment? If not, need a second, a motion and a second. So moved. Second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Need a motion to adjourn the open governance committee meeting.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Motion. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is go back into the, it's supposed to be, okay, I got you. That's it. I got it. Okay, we're gonna reopen the IDA full board. I need a motion and a second to reopen the meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Okay, everyone's in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we have the same, we're gonna read through these items and if anybody's got any questions, ask them and we'll approve them at the end. The annual reports, 2020 performance measure report, the 2020 operations and accomplishments, 2021 mission statement and measurement goals, the audit committee report, and the finance committee report, and we have the governance committee reports. Now, if there's anybody, is there any questions on any of these? If not, I'm gonna need a motion and second to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Next, we have the 2022 CEDC IDA contract. And I think we went over. Right?
Chairman, in your packet is the draft contract between CEDC and Columbia Industrial Development Agency. The only change is on page 2 of the contract, item number 2. The last 5 or 6 years, the IDA has paid CEDC $24,000 a year for the services related to administering the agency. And in addition, the contract provides that if there are any agency projects that result in receipt by the agency of a payment or payments of a project fee greater than 10%, then CEDC shall receive additional compensation equivalent to 20% of the project fees that exceed $100,000, up to an additional $10,000 annually. What we're proposing, Mr. Chairman, is based on the experience that we've had with the city of Hudson, the 3 projects that are underway there. The level of work when there are multiple projects is far in excess of an annual additional $10,000 if there were more than one project. So under your contract with CEDC, we would continue to, we're proposing that you would continue to receive $24,000 a year for administrative services. And the reason that we did not, that we're not, the contract doesn't provide with pay CEDC any more than that until you've received $100,000 means that you had a $10 million IDA project, right? Because we don't get anything on the first $100,000 in fees. After that, we would get 20% of any fee, capped at $10,000 a year. Well, that's okay if it's one project that year. But the problem that we discovered in Hudson, where there's a different model, they pay us $10,000 for the whole year, and then they pay us 10% on any fee. So you got the built-in $10 million project included in your base price. But we found that, so what we're proposing here is take the proposed apartment project in Greenport. The IDA will receive estimated a $25 million project. You would get $250,000 fee. I don't know why we have 20% in there when we're capping it at 10 grand, but just go through the math. 20% of that would be $50,000. But we're proposing that it would be capped at 10, but not annually, but capped at 10 for any project that you receive project fees over and above $100,000. And basically, what would we be doing for that? Basically, it involves the work that I had to do with the city IDA to negotiate the pilot, to run various scenarios, negotiate with the municipalities and the school district, handhold the participants in the process, both members of the IDA, the developer, community groups. We had multiple, there's not gonna be any project that's proposed in this day and age that's not going to have multiple community group meetings to try to, redefine the project in a way that provides more community engagement and support. And if we go forward under the current language in the contract, you can't change it after the fact. They can't come back to you and say, I did a lot more work, pay me, because I had a contract where I agreed to take $10,000 for any fees over and above 100,000 a year. So now, if we have clock, and the time we've all spent on clock, it would be a similar situation. So, the clock project is $10 million. And so the IDA received $36,000 of the IDA fee in 2021. We don't get any of that because it didn't hit the $100,000 threshold. We're only asking that and in this case, it would probably mean take 3 projects for us. But if we got to the 3 projects a year, we can't do the work related to bringing a project through the process over and above the routine administrative work that the base contract fee compensates us for if we're capped at 10,000 a year. So that's the only change in the proposed contract. And we're proposing the same change in the City of Hudson's project, that it be per project, not annually.
Any other questions on that? Okay, if not, we need a motion in a second.
I'll move it.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Thank you. I hope we have enough projects that this has some meaningful compensation both for the IDA and for CEDC.
Yeah, next we got Mike's report.
Yes, as you know, we did move forward with the Clock Estate project, and they did pay a portion of the IDA fee in return for the IDA issuing the sales tax exemption for them to use in connection with purchasing construction material. As part of that process, they are still working with Farm Credit East with respect to their financing. They also have submitted an application for additional consolidated funding application with the state through Empire State Development. Again, I give John Frischkoff tremendous credit for sustaining this project through the pandemic. And the project, if you go out there, he's got a lot of trees out there. Martha and Lisa and I went out there in the good weather, and it's a beautiful vista up at the top of the hill. We think that this project will go forward. He will get financing, and the IDA will close on the financing, and you would get the balance of the fee. We also, as you know, received an application from 178 Healy Boulevard LLC from Redburn Development, the owners of the Wick Hotel, the project that this IDA financed in partnership with the city IDA 5 years ago. Redburn is going through the planning board process in the town of Greenport. They anticipate that they will be completed by the end of March. You did approve the scheduling of a public hearing. We are working with the developer and with consultants that the developer will pay for through the IDA to evaluate whether what they've asked for in terms of a pilot is reasonable or not. One of the questions has been, do you hold the public hearing based on what they've requested? And get feedback from the public? Or do you wait and issue this report? So we're still having that conversation. But again, because this IDA uses the planning board determinations of seeker as its as lead agency, until that happens, we can't really move forward anyway. So once we get some more clarity on the pilot evaluation, we can report back to you as to whether a date for the public hearing. We encourage you all to participate in the public hearing, but it really only requires one member of the IDA to participate. But then we would ask anyone who was not available to participate to listen to the video recording of the hearing. We have also assisted Clock Estates with a grant through the Office of Community Renewal. They did receive an award of $350,000. And we do need to apply for an extension with them. Again, because the ramping up of job hiring has not met the criteria, but the state has been very cooperative and understanding of businesses experiencing these problems with COVID. We did see in the paper that Hecate, the Copeg Solar Project, is about to submit their final application to the state siting board. I think the headline was a little misleading. I can shoot you the headline. It was over the weekend. I can shoot you the story. The headline said, Copeg comes up with compromise plan, but it really didn't define any kind of a compromise other than, needs to be scaled back to, 5-acre project. I only bring this up because at some point, if the project does go through, they are going to come to this IDA to ask for assistance. But as you know, the Board of Supervisors has passed a resolution unanimously opposing the project. And, I think that we have taken the position in the past that, based on that, unless the town consented to the IDA's participation in the project, we would not participate in that project. And I know it's important to Supervisor Mettler that we validate that that's still the position. I think that it'd be very difficult in a home rule county to proceed on a project where the town was opposed to it. And in the case of this project, whether or not they receive IDA benefits, including the pilot, could very well make the project viable or not viable. So it's a precedent that makes it difficult, but what we have been doing at CEDC in terms of the smaller solar projects for the county, we have been managing their pilot programs. And we have structured it so that we don't ask the county for approval, or we don't have the county sign a pilot agreement until the town board in the town where the project is located has not only approved it, but signed it first. So, it is, as this project gets closer to some determination, either some type of a settlement with the town where they then come to us and give us their blessing to move forward with the developer, or where it continues to find itself in litigation or not receiving any town approvals.
Question, Mike, is not this a 300-some acre project originally? Now you're saying it's 5 acres.
No, that's what the town would.
Oh, that's what they want. No, okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I think that, they're still far apart, even though this headline made it sound like there was movement on the town side. But as you know, often what's written in the story isn't accurate, and the headline sometimes is even less accurate. Correct, Mr. Mayor?
No comments.
No comment, no comment. So, in addition, you'll recall that we, at the end of 2020, during 2020, we had two pieces of land that the county had transferred to us for sale. We had taken back penalty mortgages. One was for Limbs Machinery, and the other was for Hudson Valley Realty Holding Company. Limbs came in December of 2020 and paid off their loan. So so that they could move forward with the financing they needed to build the facility. The shell is finished. I think they were working through the fall on the interior. You can see it when you drive up 66. It's right on the corner where as you go into the Commerce Center. The second piece, the Hudson River Valley Holding Company, is owned by Paul Harpus and Matt Sevowich. Thank you. You'll recall that last year during COVID, or in 2020 during COVID, we gave them a 1-year deferral, and we extended the penalty mortgage trigger by a year. We had done that previously for both projects because, as you will recall, the deal was structured that they paid in this case, they paid $27,000 for the property. If they did not proceed with developing the project within a set time period, they had to pay double. In this case, Hudson River Valley Holding has paid, this year they paid $6,388, which was the full payment due on their 5-year 4.5% note, and leaving with the deferral a balance due this year of $6,338. So by the end of this year, they will have fully paid it. I believe the penalty mortgage still runs to the extent that we don't further extend that date. So I think they realize that that they are they do need to move forward and find a use for that property, because the intent wasn't for people to bank property out there and leave it undeveloped. As you know, we did have Richard Coons had asked to acquire the other available site the last remaining available site out there. And we did get the county to approve the transfer. We did do an appraisal. And the issue was that at the end of the day, it wasn't big enough for the activity that they wanted to build there. And that was the same property that a year or so ago, we had a SAD development, SAAD development out of Texas, looking at the property for the Frito-Lay warehouse that tripled in size and went to Route 84 in Fishkill. So, we're continuing to monitor that. One question is at some point in time, if the IDA continues to be, if we have a $28 million project, Greenport, and we have additional projects, if you ended up with $500,000 or $600,000 in fees, do you look to, in partnership with the county, expand and acquire additional land to expand the Commerce Park? Probably not in its current location, but somewhere else in that vicinity or somewhere else in the county. We have been looking at from CEDC's point of view. We've identified the water districts, we've identified the sewer districts as part of a housing initiative that we're working on for the supervisors. And again, you're limited as to where they're water, sewer, gas, electric, and broadband at one location. But that corridor will be opening up now that the county has connected the Commerce Center's sewer project to the town of Greenport's sewer plant. The only other issue that I wanted to bring before you, but we don't have to resolve today. The state has made it increasingly complex for IDA project developers to track the sales tax exemption and to track their labor, the labor during construction, and track the jobs that were promised during, once the project is completed. There's a several consulting firms, one that we met at a recent economic development conference, where they have a packaged plan where they acquire all of the contract information. They determine the format for the state tax ST60 forms. And they, on a monthly basis, take all this information from the developer and make sure that the contractor, well, the developer and all of his subcontractors are complying with these rules. The issue is that for projects, monthly review and reporting and inspection fees, tier 1, under 5 million, which there's very few IDA projects under 5 million, $1,115 a month. Tier 2, 5 to 25 million, $1,750 a month. Tier 3, $3,400 a month. Obviously, that is in addition, that is for the job and the and then there's also sales tax tracking. Obviously, we can't, on a $20,000 fee, $24,000 fee, even with the $10,000 kicker, absorb $3,400 a month for the project monitoring and reporting. So I think what the IDA, we're going to look and see what other IDAs do for you, but I wanted to get you thinking about the fact that when we close on these deals, do we incorporate that in addition to take the apartment complex in Greenport, in addition to charging you a 1% fee at $280, you got to also pay this out of pocket?
Yeah.
And you know, but I think that that's going to come up, and I think we should have a policy on that before the developer gets at the table and it's the 11th hour and it looks like we're adding nickel and diming them. But it could be $50,000 on a $25 million project, and we can't absorb that.
No, we can't.
Well, it's similar to planning commissions.
Right.
They charge fees.
And it's similar to, you know, the developer has to reimburse the IDA for its legal expense and other issues. At the same time, we're responsible for the monitoring.
Yeah.
So it becomes, you know, and I think if we survey 10 IDAs that are active doing this and find out what the process is, we can be better informed, but it will be something that I would like to have us resolve before we get to the closing table with Redburn on the partner project. Other than that, we take a quick look at the treasurer's report, which is 4 pages from, or 5 pages from the back of the packet. On the balance sheet, shows that we have total current assets of $65,000. 21.6 is an escrow account we're holding in connection with the 2990 Route 9 Realty project. So we really have $42,000 of $43,000 of unencumbered cash. So both the Clock Estate project and the 178 Healy Boulevard project are important to our ongoing cash flow. You can see that there's some noise down at the bottom where we do have we do hold the escrow accounts, and we do you'll see on the P&L that we collect sales tax, I'm sorry, we collect real property tax pilot payments and then redistribute them to the respective municipalities. On the profit and loss, you see other income of 7,500. That was the fee. Waiting for the accountants to tell us where to classify that. But that was the income that was the result of SAD walking away from their contract for sale. It was the penalty, right? It was the deposit, non-refundable deposit. You can see the land sale interest from the Hudson River Valley project. You can see the $34,000 in administrative income, which was the first phase, the first portion of the Clock Estate fee. On the expense side, you see $4,300 in consultants. I went back and looked. That included hiring Crawford Associates to do a survey of the parcel that we were selling, proposing to sell, and an appraisal. And really in our mind, we only did that because we received the $7,500 revenue from that project, from that parcel, as a non-refundable deposit. So it wasn't. And then we had legal fees. We have audit and accounting. You'll see that we only took last year the 12,000 of the 24. There should be on the balance sheet as of December 31st, an open payable of 12,000, and that was paid in January. Our insurance is 3,000. So you can see that with the defaulted deposit and the administrative fee from Clock, we actually had positive income. If you if you went back in 2020, instead of having 8,600 to the good, we had negative 31, 2019 negative 28, and in 2018 negative 28. You don't have that in front of you, but I went back to see, how is it shows that we have to have projects, and if you go back and look, the $42,000 that we have in the bank, which just happens to match the approximate 42,000 in income, is really the balance of the $90,000 2015 Ginsburg fee that we absorbed after that project had an IDA closing but never went forward, and there was no way to return that fee. So it's important that we do have to go back and look, because it shows pilot receipt of 163, but pilot payments of 162. So there's $1,000 floating around there that Kat and I and the accountants are trying to see why, where that discrepancy comes up, because technically we're supposed to distribute everything we receive, but and it's an exact number, which means to me it's probably a typo somewhere. But if it was something to change, it would. So I think that we are in the first year in 5 that we had a net income that was positive. One of the things we are going to do is CEDC has been, because of our administrative fee, absorbing certain costs. You'll recall that we put that camera in on the wall when the state first required that we videotape and stream these meetings. It was the latest technology at the time. We're close to having the most highest technology of this time, but we've been paying $1,800 out of the fee that you pay us for having an IDA link. It's $450 a quarter, and Lisa and I are getting to the point where we're truly comfortable with this and Zoom that we're going to have them take that out. I think that in the beginning, this company was the only one out there. What the IDA in Kingston did, they paid $9,000 and had someone come in with cameras. And this was and if you ever watched one of the videos, I mean, you legally met the criteria, but you wouldn't want to have to watch it. Be like watching bats sleeping in a cave on video. So I think that, and we also haven't been charging for any of the newspaper ads that we've had to run. And Andy's looked at this for us. And, you'll recall at the time where 5 years ago, when people felt we weren't as transparent as they thought we should be, both CEDC and the IDA, and we resorted to the old-fashioned every meeting, committee meetings and board meetings, putting in the newspaper ad in the legal section. But in reviewing the changes to the open meeting law, it's only that the only thing that has to be in a legal notice is a public hearing. And we were $2,000 a year roughly for each organization. And again, those are things we've been absorbing. But Andy gave us a memo that we're going to ease out of it because, again, if you take $4,000 out of the revenue of the newspaper, obviously the editorial and the business side are the Chinese wall between those two entities. But I think it's not unnoticed. So
Yeah, the open meetings law requires that you notify the newspaper. It doesn't require you to pay for a legal ad. So, you can call it way back, independent was up weekly meeting schedule, just in the paper. It wasn't in the legal notice. I'm sure the Register Star does that. Exactly, and that's really what you're obligated to do, is to provide.
and you're not required for them to, you don't have to ensure that they publish it.
Right.
You have to send it to them. And I think, particularly with the IDA, the real issue becomes if there's special meetings to enable you to make decisions and conduct business relevant to a timeline of a particular project. But, I think is between the social media, between posting on our website, between, the old-fashioned posting in the county building and on our door, we want to be compliant with the Authority Budget Office rules and regulations. But, when you look at $4,000 to $5,000 between this video service and instead we bought this through CEDC, and we can use it for multi meetings. And the whole system was about $3,400. I don't know how it works yet. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody, board have any questions? Any public comment? If not, we'll need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mike, you can show up. All right, Mike. Oh, Mike on my mind. My mind just, everybody can show up next time.
Let's catch up soon, Rick.
Look forward to it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I went blind.
A lot of housekeeping.
Well, I said, you see, DC the other day, and I said, oh, I'm gonna go through this.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And then Lisa,
No, you, no,
because I made,
you done it good, Ken.
um,
Yeah.
Yeah, but this-
I didn't realize Andy Howard was there.
I won't be a Chinese woman anymore. As I said that,
I was thinking, man. I said,